Okay, I am going to do problem 9.2D now. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at the other ones. This one seems to be particularly heinous. If there's an easier way to do it, let me know, but I don't know, it's pretty crazy, so let's get started. So here's the problems. Y is square root of x plus square root of x minus 1. And we want to find the inverse function, so we want to solve for x. So it's just like the problems we've had on other homeworks and quizzes. We have to solve for x by squaring, getting rid of all the square roots, and we have to square twice because there's two of them. Okay, so first we can look at what are the allowable values of x, what's the domain of x. To make sure that this square root is bigger than 0, x has to be 1, and if x is 1, that square root works too. So our domain would be 1, and it can go all the way to infinity. We're safe there. So that would be the domain. And the range, if when x is 1, we get 0 and square root of 1, so that's 1. And it can be as big as we want. When x gets bigger, it just gets bigger and bigger. So actually the range is the same, is also 1 to infinity. Which means that the domain and range of the inverse function are all 1 and infinity, because they switch. The domain of the function is the range of the inverse function, the range of the function is the domain, and they're the same, so that's nice. So they're the same. Okay, so now we just have to solve for this. So we square both sides, and we get y squared is equal to this squared, which is just x, plus that squared, so plus x minus 1. Plus 2 times them multiplied together. Alright, now, as we did before, we got to put all the things without the square roots on the other side. We have a 2x and a minus 1, so the other side becomes y squared minus 2x plus 1 equals the stuff with the square roots. And then we can square both sides, which is the ugly part, because we have 3 things here to square. Before when we did this, we had a number instead of y squared. We could combine the number and the 1, and we have only 2 things. But now, unfortunately, we have 3 things. So, when we square something with 3 things, and I'm just going to write that down, when we have 3 things and we're going to square it, it turns out it's always the squares of each one plus 2 times all of the different things multiplied together. So in other words, 2ab plus 2ac plus 2bc. So we get 6 different things. As I said, this is going to be a mess. So let's do that. On this side then, we have each one of these squared, so I'm going to do that first. So we're going to square this whole thing, so square this whole thing. The good thing is this side is actually pretty easy. That side's nuts. It's got to get all these things. So we have this squared, which is y to the 4th, this squared plus 4x squared. 1 squared is nice, that's plus 1. And then plus 2 times ab, so that's 2 times negative 2x times y squared. Okay, so that's negative 2 times that's negative 4x, so negative 4x y squared. That's the AB, and then 2ac, that'd be 2 times 1. C is nice, it's 1, so that's plus 2y squared. And then 2bc, it's negative again, and it's just 2x times 1 again, so it's just negative 4x. Okay, I think I did that right. BC, 2 times that, negative 4x. Okay, then on the other side, we just have everything squared. The 2 squared is a 4, the square root of x squared is an x, the x minus 1 squared is x minus 1. Okay, let's put all the x squareds together, actually, and let's simplify that. That is going to be 4x squared minus 4x on that side. Okay, so let's see if we can simplify all this stuff out. So I'm going to write all this over again. So we have a y to the 4th let's see, plus 4x squared plus 1 minus 4xy squared plus 2y squared minus 4x. Okay, the one really nice thing is the 4x and the 4x cancel, so that's super nice. So those go away. And then we can put the 4x squared on the other side. Notice those things cancel. We have a 4x squared and a 4x squared over here. So that's super nice. And now we only have 1x left over here. So let's, so let's write all this stuff equaling 0. So actually let's put the 4x on this side because it's negative. So on this side all we have left is y to the 4th plus 1 plus 2y squared, and we set that equal to 4xy squared. Make this negative, put a positive on the other side. We want to solve for x, so we can divide everything by 4y squared, and we have x. So I'm just going to write the x first. So x is equal to all this stuff, y to the 4th plus 1 plus 2y squared divided by 4y squared. Okay, so that should be our new inverse function. And notice that we don't have y can't be 0 because of our domain and ranges up here. So the domain of this one is the range of the other one, which says the same, 1 to infinity. So y squared can be 1, and we're not dividing by 0 or anything. And so it looks like this will work. So that is 9.2D. The other ones, I think this is the hardest one. The other ones should be a little bit easier. And I'll come back later and do one of the later problems to help you out with those. But I think these are all doable, so good luck doing that. And if you have any questions, just feel free to contact me and I'll try to help you out. Okay, thanks.